I've played Skyrim for nearly 200 hours, but I've never actually beaten the game, so I thought it was time I finally got around to finish it. And since I've been absent on YouTube for a while, I might as well make a video on it too. So in this video, I'll be beating the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim with only storm spells to attack. So all storm spells from destruction are in. I also have access to Storm Atronachs if I unlock them. There aren't limitations on schools like Restoration or Illusion though, so I can still use them to level up and help me in fights. Shouts also aren't blocked either. As long as I don't kill enemies with them, I'm good. So let's recap the rules real quick. Rule number 1. Storm spells from any school of magic are usable. Rule number 2. I can use Restoration magic to heal and other non-damaging magic schools to level up. Rule number 3. Don't use weapons. Now that we all know what's allowed and what's not, let's finally wake up. The first thing I did was create my character. It would make sense to choose a high elf. Their magical abilities would make it the easiest race to pick. But I didn't really want that. I chose a Nord because I just like the look of them, to be honest. So after going through creating and naming them, I began my quest. Let's just skip the boring parts. I joined Ralof and used him as a small meat shield until we made our way to the torture chamber. All I had to do was pick a lock to obtain my first spell, Sparks. Now that I was more powerful than my wildest dreams, I struck down every enemy in my path, mainly so I could level destruction as much as possible. Unfortunately though, I did run out of magicka pretty quickly, only being able to take out a single enemy before I needed to recharge. So it looks like Ralof will still be of some use to me. After making my way through the dark, dank caves of Helgen, and taking out every enemy on the way, I emerged into the sunlight. And no, this isn't on survival, and I was on adept. Don't judge me, I've never beaten the game after all, and if this video goes well, harder difficulties will definitely be a part of future challenges. Not wanting to listen to Ralof's yapping, I made my way over to the Mage Stone. I also cleared Embershard Mine mainly because I wanted to, and wandering off in these open world games and not doing the main quest is pretty much what I do. Thanks to the bandits though, I was able to level up and obviously upgraded my mana. Once I safely made my way to Riverwood, I went on over to the Riverwood Trader, where I accepted the quest to get the golden clawback for Lucan. While at Bleak Falls, I managed to level up once more and snagged the Destruction dual casting perk. Sorry to everyone with arachnophobia, because here is the giant frostbite spider. After easily defeating it, I killed Arvel and looted the gold claw. The Draugr all easily fell to my lightning, and eventually I made my way to the Draugr Overload. You know, I accidentally typed Overload instead of Overlord, but now I'm just going to keep it there. After the Draugr Overload finally went down, I grabbed the Dragonstone and headed back to Riverwood to collect my reward. Oh, Balgruuf, how I missed you. While in a heated discussion with Mr. Balgruuf about these dragons and rumors of dragons, I was summoned to take care of the Dragon Menace. I've prepared a little video showing how this little encounter with the dragon went. I don't really remember what I was doing here or where I was going. The footage you're seeing was recorded on March 27th, and I'm writing this on April 4th. I imagine I'm on the way to Highrothgar, but the only one who knows the answer is Thundercry, and Thundercry doesn't tell. I eventually found my way to a nice lady named Anise. Surely she's a nice lady and won't attack me. Jokes aside, this is one of the most useful locations to me, just because there's an alchemy table and an arcane enchanter. I could use the ones next to Farengar and Whiterun, but this is just my preference. It's also closer to the fast travel point. Now I actually did go to Farengar and looked at what he had to offer. I bought a couple spells that would help me survive, mainly the spell Lightning Bolt. Now that I was more geared up, I made my way to the Greybeards. On the way up the steps, I encountered a nice woman named Karita. In every good story, there has to be drama. So, as unfortunate as it was, she had to pass from this world.
Until next time.
Now that I reached Highrothgar, I placed Klimek supplies in the chest and entered the home of the Masters of the Voice. Inside, I met Arngir, and with his help, I learned Unrelenting Force and Whirlwind Sprint. Once I was tasked with getting their horn back, I made my way to Ivarstead to get my reward from Klimek for doing his job for him. That lazy piece of shit. But upon returning to Ivarstead, I was met with some cultists, who I then proceeded to lure out of town and unalive. By this time I was already level 9 and spent some points to get the Apprentice Illusion perk. I've been using Muffle to level up a bit, and being able to use it for only half magicka was well worth it. It was around this time that I promptly forgot about getting the Horn of Jurgen Windcaller for the Greybeards and ended up finding myself at the College of Winterhold. I would have began the college's quest now, but Feralda tasked me with casting Fear at the seal on the ground, something I was unprepared for since I didn't even have that spell yet. So it looks like it'll be a little while longer before I can enroll in the college. I then wandered around the northern part of the map a bit until I began doing some Horker restoration farming. Soon enough I found myself in front of, Angle. Okay. Angleborough, which is a location I've actually never visited before. So I ventured inside, and let me tell you, when I entered this place, the last thing I thought I'd be doing was playing with some luminous balls. Once Angle was defeated, I left his tomb and the balls behind me. Okay, enough dilly-dallying. It's time to head to Ustengrav and retrieve the Horn of Jurgen Windcaller. Unsurprisingly, this was pretty similar to the other dungeons I've done so far, with just a few more skeletons. After battling through this dungeon, I was finally rewarded with what I sought after. Well, time to find who took the horn. After making my way to Riverwood to secure the attic room, the biggest reveal of the game happened. Delphine took the horn. After she yabbed on for a bit, I took on the challenge to heal the Elder Gleam. And before I could head off to Elder Gleam's sanctuary, I was stopped by a very beautiful man, Maurice, who begged, no, pleaded to me to take him. From his masterfully groomed mustache to his fashionable yet humble clothing, he was perfect. So we began to make our way east. We were a powerhouse. Necromancers and bandits alike fell like mowed over grass. We even shared a drink with some merry souls on the road. It's becoming clear that me and Maurice, we have something special. There's nothing we can't accomplish together. We were unstoppable. And soon enough we came face to face with a wood elf. Little did I know, this encounter would cause my world to crash down around me. That's right. Maurice died, protecting me. This would not stand. I will be judge, jury, and executioner to this wood elf. After the fall of my comrade, I lost all motivation to heal the Elder Gleam, and took a break by slaying the dragon at Kynesgrove. I've prepared yet another video of how this dragon encounter went. And just like that, another dragon has fallen to Thundercry. Eventually, I was able to learn the Fear spell and gained access to the College of Winterhold. I'm gonna be honest, I've never actually finished this questline, so I don't actually know what awaits me. I only started it because it's magic. So with that, me and my other classmates made our way to Saarthal. You guys probably know the rest. I got contacted by the Sigus Order, killed some Draugr, slayed Jared Golderson, and claimed the Eye of Magnus for the college. Archmage Savos Aaron was so overjoyed by my work that he gifted me the Staff of Magelight, an item that I don't think I used even once, but it's the thought that counts. Oh, what's this? Another dragon? You guys already know what's coming. Helping people is generally a good way to increase relations. So I began helping Braylina Marian with her spells. It turned out that she wasn't the greatest study partner though, as her spells turned me green.
I'm really sorry, okay?
What is wrong with you? Why are you
green? I decided to wait until I was cured before I left Winterhold, but once I was, I made my exit. My next objective was taking on Sigus Golders, This did end up taking a while though, as I did run out of mana potions. But I had a surplus of health potions, so whenever I took decent damage, I'd just heal back up and attack when I had spare magicka. At some point, I defeated the last Galderson brother, but I'm just too lazy to search through the nearly 25 hours of gameplay for it. But with the 3 brothers down, I was able to head to Reachwater Rock so I could reforge the Galder amulet. The fight against the 3 brothers was more of an endurance fight than anything. But in the end, like everything Thundercry does, I came out on top. I figured it was about time that I continued on with the main quest, so I made my way to the Thalore Embassy and did what is, in my opinion, one of the most boring quests in the game. So, long story short, I snuck around, killed some Thalmor, rescued the prisoner, and left. After my escape, though, I decided it was time to go somewhere special. I was going off to visit the Eldergleam Sanctuary. I know Maurice would have loved to be here, but I must do this. For him. So I made my way over, took in the sights of this majestic place, and then slashed the Eldergleam to get what I needed. Not without a few scratches to myself, of course. The Spriggans guarding this place wouldn't let me leave without a fight. Speaking of a fight, I also thought about settling down. Not marriage, though. I just wanted a home. And that led me to defeat the warrior outside of Hendraheim. After getting a new home, I found a nice man known as Talskar the Wanderer. But just like Karita earlier, there needs to be drama. I'm sorry, sweet prince, but your death must happen in order to tug heartstrings. Rest in peace, soldier. I'm just gonna sweep that death under the rug because I've got bigger fish to fry. And by that, I of course mean meeting up with the Augur of Dunlane. All he did was be cryptic, and all I had to do was stand there for 5 minutes listening. After reporting to the Archmage, he told me to speak to Mirabelle in order to locate the Staff of Magnus. I didn't really want to go through a Dwemer ruin right now, so instead I went in search of Esbern in Riften. So after a lengthy amount of sewer crawling, we finally made our way out. But with my mini adventures coming to a close, I knew it was time to tackle this place again. It was pretty easy, all things considered. Puzzle? Eventually I made my way back to Winterhold and proceeded to defend the town from the magical anomalies. But after some time, I did emerge victorious. All I had to do now was get the Staff of Magnus. Easier said than done though, as I had to delve through more dangerous Nordic ruins. And soon enough, I found myself in the last chamber, where I faced off against the Dragon Priest Mordecai. This wasn't really a tough battle though. I did abuse the environment a bit, mainly standing behind pillars or wherever he couldn't get me. Inevitably though, he fell and the Staff of Magnus was mine. I made my way back to the college at once. My peers and professors needed me. I would hear their pleas, and Thundercry would come to save the day. So, armed with the Staff of Magnus, I faced off against the vile villain known as Encano. Using the staff, I weakened him enough so my lightning bolts could do some real damage. Thundercry is so powerful. Leave a like and comment if you agree. So once I struck him down, the Sigic known as Quarrenar came back to confiscate the Eye of Magnus, stating the world is not ready for such a thing. Though personally, I think Thundercry could harness its power. With the College of Winterhold's questline coming to an end, I earned myself the title of Archmage Thundercry. Now that I was the ultimate mage in all of Skyrim, nay, all of Tamriel, I began taking the final steps towards Alduin's defeat. So followed by Esbern and Delphine, I made my way to Skyhaven Temple, then proceeded to listen to Esbern jabble on giving me a history lesson. Now since I've personally never made it to this point in any of my personal playthroughs, I listened to it all, but I won't put you guys through all that. So the next destination is Highrothgar, where I must meet with the Greybeards leader, Paarthurnax. After he wasn't able to teach me the Nord mage shout Dragon Rend, I had a new quest at my feet: to obtain an Elder Scroll, use it and view the Nords of old using Dragon Rend themselves, and battle Alduin. I'm no fool though, so I spent a little bit leveling up my restoration skill. Some would think I used the Horther method like I did earlier, but no. Instead I kept jumping off a cliff. Epic mode! Anyway, once that was done, I did some sightseeing in more Dwemer ruins and found my way into Blackreach, the ever-sprawling underground city. After accidentally summoning the Dova known as Volthiral, I had to take him out before continuing my search for the Elder Scroll. Once that was done though, I made my way to yet another puzzle, and once that was solved, I got my shockingly, get it? Shock? Like thunder. Anyway, I got my shockingly powerful hands on the Elder Scroll and went back to the throat of the world. After doing some slight reading and passing out, I learned Dragon Ren from the masters themselves. Upon returning, however, Alduin himself was waiting for me. So here's another video how that turned out. So using terrain as my shield, I yet again came out victorious. Okay, so now I need to make it to Sovngarde. Easy enough, I just need to trap a dragon in Dragon's Reach. That means I also must go through the Peace Council in Highrothgar. So here's that whole ordeal in about 8 seconds. So once that was done, Balgraf, my beloved, agreed to assist me in ensnaring a dragon. So begins the end. The flight to Alduin's portal was the easy part. Getting there would be the hard part. Nah, I'm just kidding, it went as good as you'd expect, with just some dragons sprinkled in. I know you can just run to the portal and skip the fight with Nokrin, but that isn't cool. So I did battle. Luckily, I had the destruction perk Impact, so I was able to stun lock him. Which, debatably isn't cool either, but oh well, it's all in the past. As soon as I stepped foot in Sovngarde, I knew the final battle was near. So after proving myself and my abilities to Sun, I allied the Sovngardian heroes of old, and we went to battle with Alduin. So here is one last video I made to show how this fight went. Nah, I'm just kidding, I won't do that to you guys this time. This is the final battle, I'm not doing that again. Using Shout and Storm, I slowly dwindled down this mighty foe. I actually used Wall of Storms for a good chunk of the fight too. I had access to it earlier, but I'm just now putting it to the test. So whenever he took off again in the sky, a simple Dragon Ren shout was enough to bring him back on my floor of electricity. And with the help of my allies, Alduin, the World Eater, was defeated. And just like that, Thundercry has completed his journey. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed my first video on Skyrim. If you enjoyed it, let me know in the comments down below, and a like is always appreciated. There's also a lot left to do in Skyrim, so if you want to see more of Archmage Thundercry's adventures, let me know. But with all that behind us, I hope you all have a good one. Peace.